Welcome back. March is the month of celebrations when it comes to women internationally and here in Egypt. We celebrated World Women's Day, and we are celebrating today the Egyptian Mother's Day. Congratulations to all mothers. And when it comes to women in Egypt are really enjoying some of the most marvelous or the brightest years. Well, empowering women is one of the priorities of the political leadership. And in many occasions, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was keen to say that this is a continuing process. This is going to continue, and this is not only going to have a stop or have an end at one phase. This is a process going on, and it will continue on the right path because this is new Egypt. This is the new republic. To empower women, it really needs a lot. And it needs to start with her from scratch. Well, to shed more light on this and to shed more light on the important steps which should be taken to be able to empower women, to be able to qualify her to be a leader or a cadre who can really participate in building our society, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mrs. Amira al-Masry, an expert of family relations. A very good morning to you, Mrs. al-Masry.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, as I said, ma'am, when it comes to empower women, this is a very complicated process. But let's start with qualifying women, with guaranteeing that every girl is really enjoying her rights since she was a baby. Because when it comes to a woman or a young lady enjoying her rights, being self-confident, knowing well that she is a very positive part or have a key role in our society, this is a big story. Would you please tell us some steps or the homework of the families to guarantee that their girl is going to be positively integrated in the society women?
Well, it's a very important and it's a very simple matter as well, because knowing that women and men, we wouldn't say equal because we're two different types, but at least each of us knows how important their role is. So when parents in general nurtured their children with love, understanding, and peacefulness, they grow up to become confident human beings. And when it comes to women, because in certain segments and different parts of Egypt, women are treated as less equal or less deserving, whether on the educational level or workforce or so many different things. When a child grows up knowing that she's less, she's going to continue acting as if she's less.
Yes.
But when the home itself, mother and father, make sure that she understands her value and that she represents the future, she's going to look for everything that is going to make her complete and achieve her best potential.
You know, some people would say that whenever I'm going to be that kind to my girl, to show her love, this is a kind of spoiling her. And if I really want her to be that polite and to be that straightforward, some cruelty is not going to do any harm to her. Would you please give us your panoramic view regarding these bad or negative notions?
Well, let me just rephrase it. If it's rephrased, it won't be bad. The point is, people confuse cruelty with consistency. And it's not only for women, it's for women and men. When you're treating your children, you have to have consistency rather than cruelty. What does that mean? It means that when you set a rule, you have to follow. When you promise something, whether it's a punishment or a consequence, you have to follow. So you don't spoil your children in general. It doesn't have to do anything whether it's a male or a female. But you have to be consistent.
Yep. Well, very well said.
I know that in Egypt they say you can break a bone for a girl and she's going to grow stronger or more independent. That's not true. That's not true. But you've got to set rules. You've got to be consistent.
Mrs. al-Masry, how do you see the political leadership or the state's efforts to just put a stop or put an end to early marriage, for example, to take all the time into consideration the right of the Egyptian young ladies to choose and to choose which track or which path she want to move on in her career, in her personal life, everything related to this?
Well, in the last 7 years, according to statistics, there have been a lot of dramatic, in a positive way, dramatic changes, whether in the laws and regulations or even in the strategies used. But here is a very important point. Women don't really appreciate the fact that in different segments, people are treated differently. Like in certain segments, women, no matter what laws, what regulations we present, they believe they are less. They do not reach out. And in other societies, they become more empowered than any other segment of the society, and they misuse it. So we need to make sure that we're creating the balance with our new generation by making sure that they understand their rights and they understand their obligations. That's on one level. On the other one, now we see many women in different political positions. We see women as judges. We see women as ministers. So I
Pilots,
believe,
even.
I'm sorry, a pilot. Yeah, one of my
Yes.
students is a pilot now, and I'm so
Yeah.
proud of her.
Yeah.
And she's a very good one. Women, if they are persistent, they can do anything and everything, but they should understand that there is a balance. They should understand that we shouldn't lose this balance just to prove a point. Because we need to understand that we are women after all, and it doesn't make us less, it makes us more, but we need to value that and keep it intact.
Yeah. Let's speak about deeds, about actions, not words. For example, nobody would imagine that Faryal Ashraf, the Olympic champion of karate, when she returns back to Egypt, she is going to found an axis or a bridge named after her. When you find something like that as a proof that the state is going to exert all efforts to show the position of women, whenever you achieved something for the sake of the country, whenever you were representing Egypt, whenever you did all the efforts to raise the Egyptian flag, you are going to be awarded. How do you see the deeds on the ground to prove this?
I would rather consider this gender neutral rather than refer it to women, because throughout the years we've been in Egyptians as well. Yes, we have problems in certain segments, but we've always praised those who achieve good things, whether women or men. Throughout the years, we appreciated the effort, and we also appreciated women as well. So what I believe is it's not the appreciation as much as it's realizing the potential problems certain segments are facing. But it's a great gesture, and this is not the only gesture the site has been doing to prove that women and men, when they exert the effort, they will be appreciated and get what they deserve.
And this was reflected in the latest event, which took place with the presence of our First Lady, Mrs. Intisar Sisi, when she honored a number of women in all domains, in all levels, whether she is a nurse who exerted her utmost efforts to serve the patients of COVID-19, and another like late Anisa Hassouna, who was responsible for a huge medical facility also to serve the Egyptians. You name it, Hannah Gouda of table tennis, I mean, in different domains. This was another gesture, true?
Yeah, but we've got to be very proud of Egyptian women because they have achieved throughout the years many things. They were the first leaders during the ancient Egyptians' time, and later on, they were fighters and they were patriots. So Egyptian women throughout history have been always an example for women around the world.
Yeah. Mrs. Masry, I want to have not a mix, but to correlate things together. It's like a puzzle. You know, Decent Life Initiative, which really targets more than 60 million Egyptians,
Yes.
not only half, I think more than half of those 60 millions are women. When the Egyptian women felt safe economically, this is going to improve her everything, her life, her psychological status, her way of living, her way dealing with members of her family, her positive energy, everything. Do you see this this relation, or how we can just say that this is a big part of the state's efforts to empower women, in a way?
I agree 100% because women in poverty face a lot of challenges, if you may call it challenges. I was thinking of a stronger word, whether in order to support her family, to support herself, to have the slightest amount of peace of mind. So with this initiation, at least we can help or provide some dignity, something for her to rely on.
Yep.
Rather than just be looking for different, I wouldn't call it jobs, different things to do that aren't satisfactory nor supporting enough.
Yes.
So I agree 100% that this initiative has helped Egyptian families, and what's more important than helping the Egyptian mothers and the Egyptian ladies, because if we're looking at it from a cultural perspective that should be there, men should be responsible for the families in general. And when they can provide, women nowadays are trying to provide and working extra hours and everything. So now when you guarantee a decent life, both parties are a little bit more relaxed and they can start thinking of how to handle the future.
Well, Mrs. Amira Masry, our expert in family relations, thank you very much for your input and have a very good day. Well, the Egyptian women were queens thousands of years ago, and we do deserve to be dealt with as queens forever. Well, by this we come to the end of our episode of the Breakfast Show for today. Tomorrow is another episode and another crew. You are in the company of my dear colleague Hala Hamalawi and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman. Stay tuned on Live TV International always for more updates, and for more details please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching.